Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Iga Swiatek's Psychologist reignites Wimbledon controversy with Coco Gauff's ex-coach with cheeky remark. Coco Gauff and Iga Swiatek didn't exactly storm through the first stretch of the 2025 season. But now, with 2 slams in the bag between them, they're finding their form at just the right time. Gauff picked up her first Roland Garros title in June. Swiatek followed it up with her first Wimbledon crown in July. And as the US Open looms, their off-court rivalry is building just as fast as the one on it. Swiatek's support team has had enough of the jabs from Coco's former coach, Brad Gilbert. And the latest voice to enter the conversation? Swiatek's sports psychologist. It all started when Swiatek thrashed Amanda Anisimova 6-0. 6-0 in the Wimbledon final. Along the way, she took down 3 seeded players, 23rd seed Clara Tauson in the 4th round, 19th seed Ludmila Samsonova in the quarters, and 13th seed Anisimova for the title. The highest-ranked opponent she faced was world number 12. That stat caught the eye of Brad Gilbert, the veteran coach who helped Coco Gauff win the 2023 US Open, took to X with the cheeky observation. He wrote, "Crazy zany face IGA pop tourney stat, the highest-ranked player. She has played this at Wimbledon. Samsonova, at 19 AA, is ranked 12. Not sure when last time someone won a slam without facing a top 10 player." That didn't sit well with Swiatek's camp. The Poles physiotherapist, Maciej Ryszuk, quickly fired back with a sharp reply and wrote, "It's so low that even you can feel the bottom. Do your research better. Winning ugly doesn't mean commenting ugly." Now, on the Breakpoint podcast, Swiatek's psychologist Daria Abramovich chimed in with some shade of her own. She addressed Gauff's current form, linking it back to Gilbert. Sure, tenacity is very important. In a way, she's paying homage to Brad Gilbert, with whom she worked for a time, and his winning ugly. So it's definitely an important trait. When you play against someone like her, you need to be aware that no matter the score, she won't give in, she said. Gilbert made the phrase, winning ugly, famous in tennis circles. He even titled his book after it. It means getting wins, even when your game isn't firing on all cylinders. That's what Coco Gauff seems to be doing right now. The 21-year-old American pulled out a tough win in Montreal, beating former world number 9 Veronika Kudermetova despite hitting 14 double faults. That came after she served a shocking 23 double faults in her opening match against Danielle Collins, a match that lasted nearly 3 hours. So what does Coco Gauff think about winning ugly? Coco Gauff calls serving woes disappointing, ahead of potential Iga Swiatek clash. Despite separating from Brad Gilbert after the US Open last year, Coco Gauff's problems have not gone away. The world number 2 specifically brought in grip specialist Matt Daly to fix her persistent serving problems, working alongside her longtime coach Jean-Christophe Forel. The changes initially seemed to help, but the double faults have returned. The 23 double faults against Collins rank as the 5th highest number in WTA history for a single match. It's not the first time she's hit such a number either. Gauff previously recorded 21 double faults in a match on 2 occasions, putting her in a tie for 5th place before this. Gauff admitted she was frustrated with herself and said, "Obviously, I am disappointed in myself when it comes to that part of the game because I didn't play DC City DC Open. To work on that and made changes to that, doing well in practice and serving really well in practice. I just would like it to transfer to the match." Despite the shaky service games, Gauff is still grinding out wins. "It does give positives that I'm winning these matches, having literally like one part of my game on a crutch," she said. "So it's like if I can stand on both feet, then I can only imagine that it would be a lot more straightforward and a lot easier for me." Both Swiatek and Gauff are expected to be top contenders at the US Open. Swiatek has only played 1 match since her Wimbledon win and cruised through it. She next faces Germany's Eva Liss. Gauff will go up against Canadian wild card Victoria Mboko. If they both make deep runs, they would face each other in the finals. Recently, the American has been on a streak against the Pole, winning 3 straight matches against her. It has shifted the dynamic of their rivalry, with Gauff narrowing the head-to-head to 4-11. Their potential clash in the final could be the real test for Coco Gauff. Will she steady her serve in time, or will Iga Swiatek's calm dominance carry her through again? Iga Swiatek's Psychologist reignites Wimbledon controversy with Coco Gauff's ex-coach with cheeky remark. In the ever-evolving and often politically charged world of professional tennis, mind games are just as important as ground strokes. This year's post-Wimbledon swirl has taken a particularly spicy turn as Daria Abramovich, the sports psychologist behind Iga Swiatek's iron mental grip, has reignited a long-standing and delicate controversy with a remark that was both cheeky and cutting. Her words, referencing Coco Gauff's former coach, have drawn eyebrows and headlines, causing the tennis community to once again dissect the complex web of rivalries, mindsets, and behind-the-scenes drama that colors the WTA circuit. The spark that lit the fire. It all started at a casual press panel during the Warsaw Open, where Swiatek's team was asked about Iga's recent evolution on grass courts and her quarterfinal finish at Wimbledon, a tournament she has historically struggled with, unlike her dominance on clay. When the conversation turned to mental preparation and adaptation to new surfaces, Abramovich offered a sly smile and delivered the comment that sent social media into a frenzy. It helps when your team actually listens to the athlete, instead of trying to remake them into someone else. We're not in the business of selling power packages. We're in the business of understanding humans. Though she didn't mention anyone by name, the tennis world quickly decoded the reference. It was widely interpreted as a thinly veiled jab at Diego Moiano, Coco Gauff's former coach and high-performance strategist, whose intense, fitness-first training approach once clashed with Gauff's intuitive, free-flowing style. Their partnership ended in early 2024, with insiders suggesting that Gauff's mental fatigue and overtraining were primary reasons for the split. A history of tension. To understand the heat behind Abramovich's remark, one has to revisit Wimbledon 2023. That year, Coco Gauff, then just 19, had one of her most disappointing Grand Slam exits, bowing out in the second round to an unseeded qualifier. Critics cited her erratic serve, emotional inconsistency, and rigid play style. Fingers quickly pointed toward her coaching setup. Meanwhile, Iga Swiatek, though still not at her peak on grass, had visibly matured in her Wimbledon performance. Many attributed this to her psychological preparation and adaptability, traits that Abramovich had instilled in her during their close partnership since 2019. Their differing philosophies became public in subtle jabs and cryptic comments, but never before had anyone on Team Swiatek directly alluded to the perceived coaching dysfunction in Gauff's camp until now. The fallout, a divided tennis world. Abramovich's comment landed like a drop shot on match point, unexpected and devastating. Tennis Twitter exploded with hashtags like #MindGamesMatchPoint and #AbramovichMoiano. The reactions came swiftly. Coco Gauff, currently enjoying a resurgence under her new coaching setup with Brad Gilbert, was asked to respond during her Canadian Open press duties. Ever graceful, she sidestepped the controversy. Every player's journey is different. I'm really happy with where I am now, and honestly, I think I needed every step of the path to get here, including the hard ones. Still, her expression, slightly taut with discomfort, betrayed that the comment had struck a chord. Diego Moiano, no longer coaching Gauff, but still active in tennis development, issued a mild but firm counter. We all want the best for our athletes. Sometimes, people mistake structure for suppression. Not every player thrives on flow. Some need architecture. His comment attempted to neutralize the discussion, but it only fanned the flames. Analysts began digging into the training philosophies of both camps, with ESPN even airing a segment titled Mind Over Muscle, the coaching divide in women's tennis. Behind closed doors, Swiatek's philosophy. Swiatek's calm and tactical demeanor on court is no accident. It's a direct result of years of psychological molding. Daria Abramovich, a licensed sports psychologist and former competitive sailor, has been more than a mental coach. She's been a philosophical architect of Team Swiatek. Rather than barking orders or emphasizing dominance, Abramovich's approach focuses on curiosity, emotion regulation, mindfulness, and self-leadership. In fact, Swiatek often meditates before matches and journals regularly, two habits Abramovich instilled in her to handle high-stress moments. The cheeky remark, then, was more than just a jab. It was a declaration that psychology isn't a support tool, it's the foundation. That winning on the biggest stages requires understanding not just the biomechanics, but the bioemotions. A subtle power shift. While Gauff and Swiatek maintain a respectful rivalry on court, this incident has shone a light on the shifting power dynamics in women's tennis. Coco, once hailed as the spiritual heir to Serena Williams, has faced mounting expectations and media pressure. Swiatek, on the other hand, carries the burden of consistency, especially after dominating the clay court season again this year. But grass remains a dividing line. Swiatek's continued struggles at Wimbledon, albeit improving, have been a point of contention. Some critics argue that despite her psychological edge, her game still lacks the natural instinctive variety required for grass. Others now defend her with renewed vigor, crediting her adaptability and emotional maturity over brute force. In this framework, Abramovich's comments can be interpreted as a bold defense of her methodology, a declaration that slow, thoughtful growth may be more sustainable than high-octane training programs that ignore an athlete's emotional bandwidth. The players' reactions. Interestingly, the players most directly involved, Swiatek and Gauff, have remained mostly above the fray. Swiatek, when asked about the remark, simply smiled and said, "Daria is always honest. Maybe too honest. But that's why she's part of my team. We grow by asking hard questions." It was a diplomatic answer, yet it carried a quiet endorsement. On social media, both players continued to support each other publicly. Gauff liked several of Swiatek's posts and even commented a fire emoji on a Warsaw training clip. Tennis fans debated whether this was genuine camaraderie or calculated professionalism. Either way, it showed that the athletes were unwilling to let their team's words fracture their relationship. A broader message for tennis. Beyond the individual drama, this moment highlighted a bigger trend in the sport. Tennis is increasingly acknowledging the importance of mental health, not just in buzzwords, but in staffing and strategies. Naomi Osaka opened the floodgates years ago by speaking openly about depression. Today, more players than ever travel with sports psychologists, mindfulness coaches, and emotional wellness experts. Abramovich's cheeky remark might have been divisive, but it brought attention to the fact that mental coaching is no longer an optional luxury. It's a competitive advantage.